up by Green. Throws it back up top. James puts up the three. Oh, it's good! LeBron James from downtown.
Hello, welcome back to this sort of Three Guys on Mic. As always, my name is Jeremiah. To my two co-hosts here,
William
and Aaron.
And over the past few days of this Eastern Conference Finals, I feel like all three of us have had equal chances to watch these games and really get our input in it. So let's go and start for that Clippers-Suns game. Game 5 is tonight. Possible elimination game. A situation the Clippers have been in many times before throughout this playoff run, right? William, open before you. Let me know your thoughts. This series is 3-1 at the moment, and so Game 5 is in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So,
being completely honest, I think this series is over tonight. If we're just being honest, I think the Suns are the more complete team right now. As we know, the Clippers are without Kawhi. In Game 4, both teams shot in the 30s, percentage-wise. The Clippers, this stood out to me, they missed 11 free throws in Game 4, which is huge considering that they only lost by 4 points. But when it comes down to it, and we didn't have a chance to record in the past few days, but I was gonna say that this series, even with Chris Paul, being out with his COVID thing, him being out for 1 or 2 games, I don't think was gonna impact the Suns how everyone thought it would. But I think with Kawhi being out, Kawhi's a player where you can miss over the course of like right now. You know what I mean? Like when he's out, you miss him right away. If Chris Paul's out, you're not going to miss him maybe for another 4 or 5 games. And the big thing about Chris Paul is his leadership. I don't know why I put quotation marks, but like his leadership, stuff like that. But he doesn't have to be on the court. He doesn't have to be there.
Even on the bench, just talking.
Like you know how you saw it, like after they won game 1 and 2, they were on FaceTime with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just sucks. And even if Kawhi does come back, let's say they win tonight, and then Kawhi could play Game 6, he's not going to be the same because his injury is with his knee. It's an ACL injury. So either way, the Clippers, I think they're screwed. I think it's bad luck for them. It sucks for them.
Yeah.
But just with that, it honestly sucks for them. And I feel like with the healthy Kawhi right now, and I feel like the script is flipped, and I think they're up 3-1 right now. But it just sucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sucks. And honestly, like how Littleman said last night, me and Littleman were talking, and he was saying that the Clippers, they've kind of prepared for this. They've had games all year without Kawhi. Even last year, they've had games without Kawhi. So they don't look that bad. They're still close. But the thing is, when Kawhi's out, it sucks. And to me, the series has Kawhi written all over it. In Game 2, they lost by what? A 1 score.
Yeah.
And then in Game 4, that was a game that was ugly, right? They didn't score for however long. And Kawhi he's that kind of player, you know what I mean? He's that kind of player who has like an ugly game, and when it's a game that comes down to one possession, he's that guy who I trust.
He can get you a bucket.
Yeah, he's the guy who and a stop.
Yeah. So
that's why I feel like they miss him, is because in these late games, the Suns have the edge over the Clippers.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Definitely. It's no secret, Devin Booker is the best player on the Phoenix Suns roster, talent-wise.
Yeah, talent.
This series is averaging 25, 6 and 5. Paul George averaging 27, 10 and 6, right? Yeah, that's what you want from superstars. I think Paul George has definitely delivered on his end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From
stats-wise.
Yeah, stats-wise. From the last series, carrying all the way to this one, I feel like he's definitely, I in my eyes, he stepped up to the game, right? But however, we all know Devin Booker's good. We all know he's a talented player, right? The difference maker is DeAndre Ayton. He's averaging 20, 14, and 2 in this series, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing it, against the Clippers team, which, like, I'm not gonna say their weakness is a center, because Zubac isn't a bad center by any stretch. Yeah, you know what I mean. But the fact that he's still putting up 20 and 14 a night, you know what I mean? Which it's all the difference to me. Their high pick and roll game at the 3-point line, at the free throw line, like that it's pretty much unstoppable, because he has a 3-way go. Because if Paul runs it, or if Booker runs it, it's the pick and roll. It's his own lane, or he's throwing it to the 3-point line, and it's just, if those of you watch the game, it works every single time. Every single time it works. Like you said, I agree with you. I said if Kawhi Leonard's on this team, I feel like it's Clippers in 6. It's Clippers in 7. You mean that's just what I believe. And then also the talent drop off from Reggie Jackson to the third option. They can't overcome it. You know what I mean? Terrence Mann, great player, right? Really stepped up into the role. right now. He's just not what you need.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I mean?
too young and he can't fill that role.
And so that's my take on the Suns Clippers. It's unfortunate. Yes, I believe. I'm not gonna say the Clippers can't win tonight because obviously they can win. But I believe it's gonna end tonight.
First things first, I want to say shout out to Paul George. He's no longer pandemic P.
Yeah.
I believe he's vaccinated P.
Yeah.
Until it comes to the free throw line in late games. But yeah, I do think the third option is a problem. You know, Reggie Jackson's phenomenal scorer. I honestly didn't think he had that much potential. But when it comes to Terrence Mann, yes, he plays good at Staples Center. I understand that. But they need him to do the exact same thing in Phoenix because when he's outside of Staples Center, it's a whole different player. I think he's averaging like 6-8 points a game. But when it's Staples Center, he turns into their Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, it's weird.
So they need to see that in Phoenix. But yeah, I think the series ends tonight. Phoenix just has too much star power. When CP3 came back, I expected them to lose that game because it was one of those games, like a trap game kind of, like how they call it in the NFL. But I think it ends tonight, and the Clippers do miss Kawhi a lot, and you could see it on the defensive end. Yes, PG-13 is a great defender, don't get me wrong, but they still don't have that second player who can really play defense besides Pat Bev. But he's not going to give you buckets like Kawhi Leonard. So yeah, I think series ends tonight, and I still think it's a big question for me if Kawhi Leonard stays or not.
Yeah.
Okay. That's.
I'm not too sure. I think it was Saturday night that those reports that he wasn't happy with their staff. You know what I mean?
So and if I'm a Clipper fan, seeing this man cheer like that with no smile, just going like this. I mean, in a suite up top, not even on the bench, I'd be worried.
I mean, if we're being honest, I don't know if that's like a Kawhi thing or if that's just him being upset. I can't tell.
He could have been actually happy. Like, we don't know.
But one thing that you said with Aiden, right? He's playing great. I think this is where the Clippers miss Ibaka. As you know, he's out for the playoffs, and he hasn't played since game 2 of the first round. So I mean, obviously he's not a phenomenal player, but he has
he's still in the force.
The IQ, yeah, he has stuff like that. So I feel like right there, that's where they miss him. Also, like, I don't know if you guys would watch a lot of their games during the regular season, but he would have like big shots when they needed it. You know what I mean? Like when the other team was going on a run, he'd have a huge shot. So I feel like the Clippers miss Ibaka slightly, and so yeah.
Okay, yeah, definitely something to keep in mind.
Two players that they've had to play without for a while, and during the season is Kawhi and Serge.
And Ibaka, yeah.
Moving on to this Eastern Conference Finals, right? So Hawks versus Bucks. I was watching the game the other night, and I was just thinking, like, for the first time in feels like quite a long time, the playoffs look so different to me. I don't know how you guys feel. Like, it's just like I wouldn't have imagined the Hawks. You know, you mean like especially going back to last year. Going back to last year, the Hawks are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I wouldn't have imagined the Bucks after the Bucks get swept. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have imagined that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't.
Gentleman's sweep.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't have imagined them in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, I wouldn't have imagined the Suns. I understand, they're undefeated in the bubble, but I wouldn't have imagined them in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I think this is just it's making for a remarkable playoff run. So moving on, Hawks and Bucks series is 2-1. Bucks on top over a phenomenal game from Chris Middleton last night, right? Giannis. This is Giannis's last three, okay? Last night, 33-11-4. Game 2, 25-9-6. Game 1, 34-12-9. Middleton, last night, 38-11-7. Game 2, 15-7-8. Game 1, 15-5-4. Holiday, last night, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 12 assists, right? Game 2, 22-2-7. Game 3, 33-4-10. The big thing I'm trying to get at here, I'm not just throwing numbers at you. What I'm trying to get at is they can beat you in 3 different ways. Game 1, it relied on Giannis and Holiday, right? Middleton didn't do a whole lot.
No.
Then game 2, same thing, right? Middleton didn't do a lot. Give you 15, right? Giannis and Holiday were able to carry. And then when Holiday doesn't deliver, Middleton gives you 38.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're beating you on 3 different cylinders. They're firing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the fact that all these guys have had over 30-point games. That's something that not a lot of rosters, not a lot of teams in the NBA could say.
Yeah.
I can get 3 guys that can give you 30 in an Eastern Conference Finals game, or you know what I mean, or Western Conference Finals game. And then one last thing, I think Brook Lopez is playing out of his mind on both sides of the ball.
True.
Mm-hmm. And I really love that you mentioned this about Serge Ibaka. When he would just give you a bucket when you needed it, like a big shot.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Brook Lopez turns into a 3-point god. You mean his 3-point shot is wet, but he hits it when you need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like you're like 7 feet tall, but he's just standing there like at the arc, just waiting, and it's phenomenal when you see it, and it's like, damn, like that's just what we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Bucks, I think if I'm playing them and having to stop the three-headed monster between Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis, I really wouldn't know how to adjust to that, because if Drew isn't scoring, he's giving you out assists.
Mm-hmm.
If Middleton isn't scoring, he's playing defense. If Giannis isn't scoring, he's playing defense and giving you hell, one-on-one.
Yeah.
But with the Hawks, I need to see more from Herter. We all know that he had that phenomenal Game 7 against the Sixers.
Yeah.
We're overrated, by the way.
Okay.
Bogdanovich is one person I want to see take that step. I mean, I know this is his first playoffs, but then again, so is half that roster.
Yeah.
Because they're all so young.
Yeah.
He's also hurt. But.
Yeah, he's also hurt too. I'll give him that. But with the Bucks too, I really like their energy on defense, and that's why I think that it's kind of hard for me to pick the Suns winning the finals or any of those last two teams in the West over the Bucks, because the energy they have on defense. And I think there's two people. If I was in the NBA, I wouldn't want guarding. I wouldn't want to guard me. It's Pat Bev and PJ Tucker. Because when I watch them play defense, they're just pesty.
Yeah.
It's like they frustrate their opponents so much. And I feel like with that, and then even when they try to drive in, Giannis is there. Brook Lopez is there.
That's true.
And I think I'll give the Hawks and them Game 1. Maybe they steal another game in Atlanta. Maybe tomorrow. But I think it's the Bucks in 6.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Bucks
definitely agree. Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Okay, so, one thing with Trae Young, we really don't know if he's going to be okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
I think he's having an MRI today to see. What do you guys think, before I start with my thing, what do you guys think about that play with the ref or whatever?
I mean, the ref standing out of bounds.
Yeah.
You mean he stepped back? If the ref's foot was in bounds,
okay,
there's something to be upset about. If you step out of bounds, you know what I mean? That's kind of, like Mike Tomlin in the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he walked onto the field. You know what I mean? Like, that's something to be upset about. The ref was out of bounds, doing his job. Can we say that? He's doing his job. Like, he has to be there.
To me, it's a thing of, like, if I'm a Hawks fan, if I'm Trae Young, I'm mad. But if I'm the ref, I'm like, dude, like, what do you expect me to do? So, so I agree with you. But also, I think for this Hawks team, it's a bad look in the fourth quarter when you have one player outscore your entire team. Chris Middleton had 20 points in the fourth. The Hawks had 17. And as I like to say, when Trae Young, when he goes to the bench, when he's out, this team looks lost.
Yeah.
When he went to the locker room, this team looked lost again. When he got back on the floor, they looked okay, but they still weren't the same when he was, doing his thing, licking at full strength. And I was watching the game with my dad last night, and I told him after that first quarter, I said, if the Bucks, when they sustain this run, the game is over. If the Hawks went on a whatever run, they couldn't miss a shot. And at the end of the first, I think it was only a 4-point game. So if you're the Hawks, you have to put them away right then and there. Especially a team like that with that superstar, you have to put them away. They didn't. The injury happened, and it sucks for them. But yeah. But, like as you were saying, the Bucks are just too strong with their scoring.
Yeah.
And
even their defense ability.
Their defense, but and then Bobby Portis having 15 points or 17 points, whatever it was, and playing his defense, it's insane.
If he subs in and I see those eyes, I'm asking for a sub. Yeah, bro.
It's like with the Lakers last year in the bubble, right? Like everyone on there was like you could just tell they were that team. That's what it is with the Bucks to me this year. And it's like. But Dwight Howard last year, when he stepped on the floor, he was giving it his all. He wasn't putting up the stats, right? But he was getting big blocks, So that's how I see this team this year. And I have to agree with Loman. I don't know if you said it, but I have to agree with Loman that I think that no one really out of these 4 teams could compete with the Bucks. And I think the Bucks. Yeah. So
I just don't think anybody can match their energy.
So last night I didn't get off work till like 8:30. So, but I was still checking the game. Hopefully my manager doesn't see this. I was still checking the game on my phone, right? And I had this thought, like when I knew the game was over, I was like, dang, like we're not gonna be able to throw shit on Giannis because he's gonna have a ring now. You mean like it's over? You mean like we can't say anything
You're
anymore?
stupid.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like
I don't think that's true.
like no, like I'm saying like
People will find a way.
no,
So-
sure. I'm saying, but like it's becoming surreal. Like dang, like the Bucks are gonna win this
Yeah,
thing.
it's
yeah.
okay, like we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but it's kind of insane to say out of these 4 teams, like
the best chance.
So someone is gonna get a new ring, either if it's the Clippers getting their first ring or players getting their first rings.
Yeah.
So it's just insane, and I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but the ratings have been the highest since 2003. I think
That's crazy.
Oh,
And,
really?
Yeah, they've been the highest, and I honestly think it's because there's 4 new teams in the mix.
Yes,
And
that's
it's, a
it.
whole bunch
Exactly.
of, it's a whole bunch of young talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, young talent, and it's just so it's not the same teams all the time.
Of course.
So yeah, and as me and Loman said when we recorded about 2 months ago or whatever, when the playoffs were about to start, me and Loman said that we felt like these playoffs were going to be wild, and we thought they were going to be good, and they were. They turned out to be really good.
And we predicted a lot of Game 7s.
And a lot of
a lot of Game
a lot of
7s.
surprises too.
A lot of surprises.
Saying
Yeah.
that Philly went out
First
second
round exit the
First
Boston Celtics.
Lakers, Celtics,
Yeah,
Nuggets
Boston
getting
Celtics.
swept.
yeah. Jokic not winning
The
again.
Nets, the Nets going to Game 7 and losing. Those injuries held them back.
Katie airballing, right?
Oh man, it's tough out here.
I mean, and also let's not forget all the injuries. It sucks that we couldn't see you.
This playoff,
out
this
full
playoff,
strength.
these
Yeah,
playoffs were
of
good.
course, LeBron. Of course,
These playoffs were good.
Yeah,
but-
we all saw the tweet.
and they weren't even at their full potential.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
even everybody
That's
was healthy.
Definitely. Anything else, guys, before we close out?
No.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching another video. Through guys with Mike. Feel free, guys, to follow our TikTok down below. Follow our Instagram, guys. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, we would love it more than anything else if you guys subscribe, guys. It really shows it out, guys. Thank you so much.